Grayson, let's have a look at your essay. How important is it for young people in your society to retain the sense of tradition? I think you're trying for an OVR paragraph. Let's see what you have. Retaining a sense of tradition could be important. Good. How important, right? So it has the ability to create a sense of belonging to one's community where the tradition originates. I think originates in, if I'm not wrong, originated in a community. Yeah. In when a certain type of tradition, such as speaking Singlish in Singapore, okay, there's no explanation here. We have jumped straight into a very specific kind of tradition. So tell me why it is important. Why it creates a sense of belonging. Okay, I think you did capture it here. It distinguishes us from the rest. Okay, to the Singapore community. Fantastic, yeah. But don't limit it to Singlish so early on. Bring in Singlish slightly later. One Singaporean can immediately distinguish another just by the way they speak English. Okay, good. Yeah. From the rest of what? The rest of the world. Yeah, this may not be entirely beneficial. Okay, this is the start of your rebuttal. One thing I would like to point out is the usage of Singlish. A tradition is passed down from one generation to the next generation. I don't think Singlish has been inherited for long enough to be called a tradition. So let's think about when Lee Kuan Yew came to power, right? When he started to stamp out dialects and we started to use English more and more. I think that was quite early, quite late in our timeline, probably 60s, 70s. So those things may not count as tradition. Okay, that's passed from one generation to the next. Okay, so if there's a better example, I will replace this. Okay, think about other things that relates to our community. Okay, Singlish is part of our culture, but I'll say it's a relatively new culture, too new to be considered a tradition. Yet this may not be entirely beneficial, as despite its ability to create this sense of belonging, it has a negative effect. Singlish is not good English. Okay, so you are addressing not the point here. You're addressing the example. Your rebuttal is solely on the example. Therefore, think about, like, how about other kinds of tradition? Like, this is a rebuttal for an example only. Does this rebuttal apply to other sort of traditions? Okay, more like command, for poor use of English. Yes, there's no doubt that there's a way. There are other ways a sense of it can be developed without compromising essential skill, such as music. Yep. Yeah. Why don't we use this to further substantiate this point about food and music? Food and music. This is not so much a rebuttal. I would say this is more of another paragraph, like an SV perhaps, like why tradition may not be very important or relevant to us. Okay? It's a separate SV. It doesn't exactly directly attack this idea of sense of belonging. Okay, yeah. So perhaps maybe if you want to create a rebuttal using this idea of sense of belonging, ask yourself, is sense of belonging still relevant in the globalized world today? Okay, where do people belong nowadays? People are so mobile. They geographically mobile. They travel from one place to another. They settle down there for a while, then they move on to the next country. Singaporeans often move overseas, live there for a couple of years before they move to the next country. So a very nomadic, mobile lifestyle, a sense of belonging, may do more harm than good when people try to hang on, okay, dearly to what it used to be, what they're familiar with. Okay, when nowadays people should be able to step out of their comfort zone, step out of their tradition to embrace the global culture. So that's how a sense of belonging may not be beneficial. So you tackle not the example, you in your rebuttal you tackle the reason given. Cool. Okay. All right. Good job, Grayson. Next time try to write a bit more, slightly longer for OVR. Okay, this is a bit short for an OVR, I would say. Yeah, you can write maybe just 3 sentences more. Okay, Grayson. Yeah, that's all the feedback I have for this paper.